to talk today about their organization, about their company, about where the company is today, what its strategy is going forward. We're going to have a discussion about the decision to graduate from a venture exchange to a senior exchange to NEO.
Medcolcanna started a couple of years ago with an idea of bringing the power of cannabis plant into healing the world and healing the people with accessible and high quality cannabis. We started the company and we listed the company in Canada, initially at TSX, and then we graduated to NEO. Our operations are focused in Colombia. Right now, we have built a capacity of 7 hectares under cultivation. We have been certified as GACP in our cultivation and our post-harvesting and drying operation. And we are in the process of getting certification of GMP EU for our extraction laboratory, where we have a capacity so far of 300 tons of dry flower per year. We have fulfilled all the Colombian process to get our strains certified as commercial strains in both psychoactive and non-psychoactive, and also in hemp. We have started extraction and some exports into international countries, basically located mostly in Europe. We have completed exports to Netherlands, Germany, Czech Republic, and Switzerland, with a couple more coming in the next couple of weeks to UK and Germany. We also completed an export to US, and we are growing this number of customers and moving forward to more customers, more products, and more availability. In Colombia, we are receiving our visit in a couple of weeks to validate our laboratory to start selling here prescription to patients, with a very nice announce that we did with a group of doctors that have been working in cannabis for more than 7 years, with patients, with data, with active patients. We are not starting from scratch. They have actually 4,000 patients, and they need more product to be able to increase the number of patients. With them also, we have established a product development and a launch of some products at different levels. And strategically, we have all the capabilities. We are growing to a new farm of 32 hectares, making us, by the end of the year, we will have cultivated approximately 40 hectares. The reason why we're increasing this is because we have established 3 different strategies commercially, starting by one we call bulk or commodity. Right now we're seeing a lot of demand in CBD and other cannabinoids, which are OTC in some European and US countries. And for that, what we have seen is that the cost is very important. And therefore we decided to move to this new farm where it's fully mechanized, it's still controlling all the quality and under GACP standards, which will allow us to have a very low cost of production, competing very strongly in the market with high quantities at very low cost. This is a strategy because the others require more time, and we are in the process of working on it. So that is giving us, and that will give the company the sustainability to continue in the other processes. The other that we have seen is the OTC market with finished products, where we have started already sales of our vape line in Europe, mainly in Switzerland and France. We are expanding to other countries in Europe, and also we started with imports into Switzerland of dried flower, CBD dried flower that we have been distributing, and we are sending the first shipment of finished oils to Europe in a couple of weeks. And the last and the final goal is to become pharma, and that strategy on pharma, of course, required certifications, validations of products, stability, clinical trials. But we have established a proper setup. Colombian legislation allows the prescription of any kind of cannabis product, including capsules, tablets, oils, different products with a higher added value directly in vivo to patients. So we have established some formulations. We acquired some formulations a year and a half ago from a company in Netherlands with some specific ailments that can be treated through that. The founder of this was a person with a situation in his family with Crohn's disease, and he developed this formula. So those formulas have been tested already in patients and have been used for patients with a very nice result. Now we are improving that to take it to pharma product, and we are going to start with Colombian patients, and moving forward to continue in clinical research to establish some of those formulations where we can have APIs and when we can protect, because it's not new for everybody that the problem with the cannabis is you cannot protect many things. So therefore, investing in clinical trials and the high cost that it requires maybe doesn't make sense. But we have found a path to do for some formulations. So this is our end goal. Working with GMP-EU, we have established a relation with an international laboratory that is producing for us. We are in the process of stability, registration of products in the countries that it's allowed. But this is a pure pharma play that will take some time. And therefore, this has, of course, much more the value added and the revenue that can be generated and profitability is much higher. But this is a process. In the meantime, we have been preparing everything to sustain the company and participate in the other market. Basically, this is what Medcolcanna is doing today and where we are.
Europe is maturing as a market probably faster than the US from a whole plant perspective or across the spectrum perspective, but it's still death by a thousand paper cuts in terms of the specifics of the regulations in each country. And so to tout the various partnerships that Felipe mentioned, a local and regional responsiveness is key to gaining share in that market, to be able to be super responsive to regulators as well as customers, because consumers and wholesalers still don't know what they want. Prices are all over the place, and getting the product from a low cost, a growing environment to really leverage an advantage is tough unless you can have local representation that could really go deep and have the appropriate political connections and economic connections to make that happen. A few that come to mind right off the bat, I would say, is our valuation. So based on very, very little sort of investment input compared to our competitors in Colombia, and certainly compared to other big either US multi-state operators or Canadian licensed producers, have been able to get to just a few months behind our competitors in Colombia on a fraction of the investment that has been input into those competitors. And that said, that goes to show the effectiveness of management in not only being frugal with investments and putting the right amount of capital into the right places. Also, the allowances that the economy for growers in Colombia opens up to effective operators, but also on the execution side, we're able to get far along. Many operators, whether they be licensed producers in Canada, early on, it's starting to change a little bit now, and the U.S. operators, and certainly our competitors in Colombia, there's a belief that you can stand alone and do things yourself, but we operate with a sense of urgency. That's why in 2 years we're where we are, graduated to a senior exchange, and we are able to execute and fill in the gaps where we need by bringing creative partnership without having to invest massive amounts of capital to make those partnerships work by acquiring big players that haven't been able to do things. So we brought on Australian-based Doña Blanca to make some of our cultivation more profitable and profit from there, but also help a potential partner to invest in our Extralia labs into our production and extraction. Greenstein is a great partner in potentially developing our distribution arm, a big gap in Europe, and of course looking at those pharmaceutical wholesalers in Asia and Latin America to help us penetrate more effectively into those markets. So we're not a standalone. We bring in firepower when necessary to quickly move into those markets and not waste too much time trying to do it ourselves or raising massive amounts of capital on the street to try to do that.
When we started this business, we were talking about CBD at prices of 13,000 per kilo. Now we're seeing at $600-700 per kilo. So we did a good study on the cost of production in US, which is mainly the largest producer, which is driving the prices down. And we understood their cost. Our growing operation in our farming in El Candil, which is located in Bogota, it's an operation that cut flower, is GACP certified, and complies with many regulations. But even with the low cost of production, we were very tight at those prices with no good margins. So after studying this, we started this other cultivation, which will drive the cost of our production very, very low. And we will be competing with these prices in commodities being very profitable. So we expect or are prepared. We don't expect them to go down more from where they are, but we are ready to lower the price with the new cost that we have access to based on this new way of cultivation in this big farm with mechanization and all that process. Again, that farm will be focused on that, and that will bring us the sustainability and the flow of business in commodity, while we continue on our strategy to develop these finished products that will make the company increase its valuation and have finished products, pharma, register, FDA, EMA, which is our final aim with a couple of formulations that we have. In terms of capital invested, plus compared with the capacity, we are one of the most effective ones. We have a very large capacity. Our investment has been very rational, and we have generated, as I said before, different revenue streams. So we are going to sell equipment. We are launching our laboratory for third parties. We have many revenue streams. Plus, we really believe, and we have some formulations, and we're working with a group of doctors where we really think that the pharma play will be the very high valuation, and where the multiples in terms of investment will be very high. So we are very advanced at that stage. We're not just a cultivator and a producer. We're very advanced at that stage, which is the differentiator at the end in this industry, because commodity everybody can produce. But in terms of commodity, we also are ahead on terms of what we can do in cost and what we are doing with this expansion that we started. That will place us as the largest producer here in Colombia right now in terms of CBD and commodity product. And we intend to continue the expansion as it happens and the market grows and we have this product allocated. So definitively, our current valuation do not reflect our assets and our knowledge and that we have acquired and the partnerships we have. So every investors have a potential of growing their investment because right now, what we have been suffering is for poor liquidity, and the poor liquidity is basically because we were very responsible since we raised the money to the moment we are right now. We were just growing infrastructure. So there was not much things to say. Now we have done this. Now we have learned. Now we have developed our methods, our equipment, our things, and we are moving to start sales. So we are moving to a stage where the news are coming. We are bringing a lot of projects and a lot of partnerships and commercial contracts that we are negotiating right now. And therefore, our stock has the potential to really reflect in the upcoming months what it is the revenue and the profit generation capacity of the company, instead of many other companies in the space that are overvaluated and we're already that are struggling to show that their results can get to those valuations, which is very hard. Right now for us, it's very easy because our valuation is very low. So it's a good moment to invest in our company.
I think that's a strong message, and I think you make a very fair point about the fact that you guys have built a lot and you established a big network around you, and now it's about the results. Being on a senior exchange is not only acknowledging your growth, it's also acknowledging your seriousness and the fact that you are complying with the highest standards of governance, of financial reporting, of financial controls. And I think that is very important for investors also. And looking forward to what I expect to be a very successful public life in the coming months and years ahead. Thank you very much.